Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I'm talking about my predictions and hopes for NXT TakeOver Portland. If you've been listening recently, you may have noticed that I have not yet posted episodes for NXT UK, SmackDown 205 Live, none of that yet this week, and that's because I've been traveling. And I was actually at SmackDown in Vancouver, which was the show is all right, but I'll get into that in an episode after I get back home. I'm going to go into detail about everything from this past week, but I wanted to get a quick episode out while I'm on the way down to Portland with my predictions for the show. And what I'm really excited to see, and hopefully I am driving right now, so hopefully I can remember all of the matches that have been announced. There are 6 of them, so I should be able to remember all of them. But real quick, I'll go into more detail in the episode I just talked about when I get back home. But I did really enjoy the segments where Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle were trying to figure out how to get to Portland with their gigantic Dusty Classic trophy. So at first they were in a car and convertible, and it turned out that neither of them had driver's licenses. So the car got taken away, and then they were out on one of those little paddle boats, those swan paddle boats. And Pete was like, what are we doing? He said, oh, it's just where I come to think. And then finally they get onto a private plane. They get into the boot. Matt Riddle stuffs Pete Dunne into there after they get the trophy, and then jumps in after him, and it turns out it is Triple H's private plane. So they're stowaway in the luggage there. So yeah, those segments were really fun. There's also one segment with Bianca Belair. She defeated Santana Garrett really quickly, and then called out Rhea, like, what are you doing? You're going over on Raw, you're challenging people and challenging Charlotte to asking her to challenge you, and I'm gonna beat you. So it's all like, why are you doing that? So that was pretty cool. And then Bianca stood tall. She beat up Rhea Ripley there, and that was that's pretty exciting. I'm really excited for that match. There's also Adam Cole versus Kushida, and what else was there? Those were the main things. Oh, Roderick Strong fought somebody, and then we also had Johnny Gargano versus Cameron Grimes. And that was coming off of a live event last weekend, actually in Riverside. They had a bit of a problem with each other backstage, and so that translated into the show this week. So, yeah, some really good stuff. I kind of watched the show like 2 times in a way. So I watched the Hulu version of it, because that was available first. It wasn't available first, but I could actually download it so I could watch it on the plane on Hulu. So that's what I did for that. But then I realized, I missed, and I just forgot to mention, Dakota Kai. It was Dakota Kai versus Candice LeRae. That one was left off of the Hulu version. And then there was another one that was left off the Hulu version. I think it might have been Gargano versus Grimes. Or it's probably another one. But I'll talk about all that in more detail in the later episode, as I said. So, let's start with Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. Because Tegan came out to help attack Dakota after Dakota won her match against Candice LeRae. I think she won that match. But this street fight And I forget if I talked about this when they first announced that. I was thinking, oh, why isn't a Portland street fight? And if it was, they would have to use like organic kendo sticks and locally sourced folding chairs and all that kind of stuff. That's what would differentiate it from like a Chicago street fight or wherever, or a Philadelphia street fight, etc. But yeah, I am so excited for that match. I think that's going to be the match of the night. They're just going to destroy each other. And in storyline, I think Dakota Kai is absolutely in the right here, and that anytime that she's doing more quote unquote like evil stuff, it's because she's getting instigated more and more by these so-called good guys who are like they're just sticking together, like perpetuating their being a really bad friend to Dakota Kai, and they don't realize what they're doing. They don't realize they're in the wrong, and so they're just more and more in the wrong every week, I think. And yes, a couple of weeks ago, Dakota Kai did try to use that knee brace to attack Tegan Nox first, but then Tegan cheated and used that knee brace and hit her, all that. And it was like, yeah, that's just bad. So, yeah, I'm totally on Dakota Kai's side in this match, and I hope she wins. However, in real life, or at least real life presented on screen or whatever, Tegan Nox is so awesome, and she's been on up, down, down a whole lot, or rather left, right for the most part. And I've watched most of the videos that she's on there since she started playing Jedi Order Fallen Knight Star Wars with Johnny Gargano. That series has been really fun. And then she's on one of the Wii Fit Ring Adventures game episodes. And then she was also had a Superstar Save Point episode. And I think maybe a couple of other appearances here and there as well. But yeah, I really enjoy just hearing her talk about stuff. I mean, her Welsh accent is really cool, but she's also just fun to listen to talk about all the stuff that she likes, regardless of the accent. But anyway, I am rooting for Dakota Kai to win because Tegan Nox is actually the evil one in the story. Okay, and then we have Dominik Dijakovic challenging Keith Lee for the North American Championship. That's going to be fantastic. I think Keith Lee will win that match, just because he only just won the championship, and they're friends right now, but maybe this turns into this flips them back to being enemies throughout this match. So I think there's a great story that can happen there, just in the match itself, let alone the weeks coming out of it and all that. But I think it's pretty interesting that the North American Championship is currently like the heavyweight championship, because we're having these two of the biggest guys in the league there. In the league? What league? And yeah, two of the biggest guys in NXT. They're going after each other. Whereas Tommaso is not a small guy, but our current NXT champion is a pretty. He almost qualifies for 205 Live. I think he weighs in at 210 pounds or something like that. But I think Keith Lee will retain the championship, and we'll see him still champion going into WrestleMania. But I would not be surprised if Dijakovic does get the win, and that maybe does create the rift between them. But Keith Lee is like, he's such a great talent, like is so great at everything, and I could see him being wanted on SmackDown or Raw or whatever happens. And it's more difficult. I think I'm driving through the wildfire smoke or something. It's a little bit more difficult for that to happen if he has the NXT Championship. But then again, we have Rhea Ripley showing up on Raw the last couple of weeks, and presumably if she wins in the next couple of weeks as well. And so that brings us to, let's talk about that match, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. I think this is going to be just awesome. I think it'll be the best Rhea Ripley match since she won the championship, for sure, including the championship match where she won. I mean, the ending was fantastic. There's no real topping that excitement. I don't know if I would be that same level of excited if Bianca wins. I will be very excited if she wins, but I am rooting for Rhea because I've mentioned this so many times. From the moment I saw Rhea Ripley in the first Mae Young Classic, I thought, I want to see her kick Charlotte Flair's ass. And it's in the works for that to happen, and that is so exciting because I want to see that match, and I want to see Rhea Ripley destroy. So, yeah, that's my big. But I would also be really excited to see Bianca Belair win, and man, Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair could be really, really good too. So, it might even be better. But because that's been what I've wanted to see since I first saw Rhea Ripley in the Mae Young Classic, that's what I'm hoping to see come to fruition at WrestleMania weekend. Okay, so that's 3 of the 6 matches. What else do we have? We have the one non-title match that's going down. That is Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. I think Johnny Gargano... I don't know. Finn Balor won against Ilya Dragunov at Worlds Collide, so he's on a hot streak. Johnny Gargano missed. He did have a match at Worlds Collide, but it doesn't count as a takeover. But he missed War Games, so I think Johnny Gargano, he's got to win. He's got the fire going into this match, but so does Finn. He's not unworried about the match. So, man, this could go either way. Even if this match ended in like some type of disqualification, just to continue these guys going after each other, I would kind of be okay with that. And then they end up with some no disqualification sort of match in where's WrestleMania? Forgot where. In Tampa for TakeOver there. But yeah, this is gonna be killer. We have not seen Demon Balor in NXT yet. I don't think we're gonna see him here in Portland, but I could see it becoming necessary in or maybe like a brand new version of the Demon. It would be really cool to see in Tampa. Two other matches. We have the Dusty Classic winners, the Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, Matthew Riddell and Peter Dunne, versus the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. This match is going to be great. I think it would be just awesome if the Broserweights win the championship, and I kind of think that they will. I think that has to happen. I think all of the championships now must go away from Undisputed Era for the next phase of their story to commence. So, I think the Broserweights will win it. It may not be a very long reign. Maybe they even lose the championships on regular TV in the next few weeks. I don't know. But this match is going to be fantastic, and I'm really excited for it. And I hope we get a little bit more of the Bobby Fish fry fish. How much fish would Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? And we get a little bit more of that type of thing. Or just whatever gold these two can spend, I'm all for it. And whatever gold these two can win, I'm all for it. I didn't plan that at all. I'm really happy with that turn of phrase, how that turned out. But anyway, and then that brings us to the last match. Presumably this will be the main event. Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship. This will be awesome. Like every single match on this card has the potential to be the best, not just the best match of the night, but the best match of the year. And I am so excited. I mean, we haven't had very many championship matches in the last two NXT pay-per-view events because everybody except for Shayna, no, even Shayna was involved in there. Everybody except for the Cruiserweight champion, who I think was Lio Rush at the time, were in War Games matches at TakeOver War Games. So we didn't have any of those defended on that show. And then at Worlds Collide, we had most of the champions in that match against Imperium. Resolve Undisputed Era went up against Imperium, and when we did have the women's championship match, Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm, but I don't think anybody was really expecting Toni to get the win so quickly, because this is I'm pretty sure that was the first match that Rhea defended, and also they were at the same time they were building towards this takeover with Bianca Belair winning that Battle Royal and all of that, and then now as we're getting this match, they're building towards the next big match against Charlotte Flair, which I don't know, it is different, so I do appreciate the different feel to all this that Rhea as champion has, but it also kind of feels like a spoiler that they have to add in there, but you have to worry about this match first, that kind of thing. And it's not just like this weekly match first. We kind of expect Rhea Ripley to win if it's just a weekly on the weekly show, but no, these are at takeover type events, and they're already looking forward to the next one after that. So it's different, but also kind of feels like they have to, okay, we're planning that match ahead, but it feels like Rhea's definitely going to win. So it does, in a way, it sort of takes away from it, but it also has a different feel that we're having multiple builds, and it does make it more interesting. It has more people involved. And like all these segments with Bianca and Charlotte have been really good, especially the ones on NXT. Well, Bianca hasn't shown up, hasn't appeared on Raw yet. Like I said, yet it would make sense for her to go there, even though she doesn't even go there, because that's where the Street Profits are. So it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense. Like this one could go either way. And I would be all for a triple threat. But it kind of seems like it's going to end up being, it could be a multi-woman match for the SmackDown Championship at WrestleMania. Or at least I hope it is. It could be Naomi and Carmella in there, but also Sasha Banks and or Lacey Evans. And so that could be really, really cool having a legit match with those 5, that could be pretty awesome for WrestleMania, and it's just for the one title, and I think we'll see what happens. But I also kind of hope Sasha Banks versus Bayley just straight up at WrestleMania. That'd be pretty awesome. This has nothing to do with NXT, but I am pretty excited that Bayley will be defending her championship at Super Showdown. However, SmackDown is the show that suffers if everybody gets stuck trying to get back, gets delayed trying to get back to the United States in time for the next night, the show the next night. But we'll see what happens. But Bayley will be fighting against either Naomi or Carmella, and they're having a match next week to determine who will win that. So spoilers, Bayley did successfully defend against Carmella on this week's SmackDown. That was a great match. I really, really liked that match. But I'll talk about that more in the episode about this entire week of shows coming up. For now, I'm going to get back to focusing on driving. I don't even know what happened in the last 20 minutes of driving. I was just talking the whole time. I think I stayed in my lane the whole time. I'm still moving, so I didn't end up in a ditch or anything yet. But, let me know what you think about TakeOver Portland. What match you're most excited about? Who you think is going to win all of these matches? Oh, and Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso is going to win, absolutely, and it'll be Undisputed will be in shambles. They're not going to know what to do, and they're going to just maybe they're going to go crazy. Maybe go crazy on each other, or maybe they'll unite with that craziness and just take it out on everybody else. Whatever happens, I'm excited for it. But yeah, I think Undisputed Era will be the opposite of draped in gold. They'll be stripped of gold. And I think that'll be really great story-wise. So that's it. Let me know what you think about TakeOver Portland by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all of the infinite multiverses. And I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.